Hey guys, my name is Iasmina and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to do a kind of mid-year wrap-up of all of the books that I've read this year so far. Initially, I wanted to do the mid-year book freakout tag that has been going around YouTube and I've done a couple of years back, I'm pretty sure. But then someone suggested I should try tier ranking videos because those are definitely very popular on YouTube and have been for a while. And so I thought it might be more interesting and maybe fun to combine those two ideas and do a tier ranking of all of the books I've read this year so far. That's what we'll be doing today. I have my laptop here and of course you will see a screen recording of what I am doing. Without further ado, let's just get into it. This is my little tier maker that I've created here. I'm not sure these names of all of the tiers are like perfect, but they'll do for now. Down here you can see all of the covers of all of the books that I've read so far this year. I've read 22 books according to Goodreads, and I also added the book that I'm currently reading because I'm about more than halfway through, so I think for now I can find a place for it. They're not in any particular order, right? I'm just gonna grab them as they show up here and figure out where they go into this tier of books. So let's start with the first book here is The Selection by Kirk. I filmed a review for that actually, and that will go up sometime soon. I was very surprised by this one. I did not think I would enjoy it so much, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. Of course, if you want more in-depth thoughts, look out for that review. But for now, I think I'm gonna do it in really good. We'll see at the end, we'll take a look and obviously compare things to each other and we'll move it around if need be. But for now I think this was really good. Then we have The Power of Habit, which is a non-fiction book, which I would say it was okay, but not for me. I know other people like that book, but it just didn't do it for me, so for now that will be an okay, just not for me. I think that's safe. And also I have a few non-fiction books here that are related to the writing craft. It's not that interesting, so we'll do those fairly quickly. I'm not gonna go into too much detail about that. So for example, I have this My Grammar and I, which is kind of a funny take on the basics of the English grammar. I didn't really get anything from it, so this will also go into okay, just not for me. It didn't teach me anything I didn't know, but I'm sure for some people it might be useful. Then we have The Novice. Yes, straight up this is going here. We'll see if it goes higher, but for now, you know, I've uploaded a review for that book, The Novice by Tara and Mathara. This is a YA fantasy series, first book in that series, and if you haven't seen my review of it, I'll link it down below. I love this book. I didn't give it 5 stars, I gave it 4.5 or something, so for now it's staying in really good. I'm really excited to continue on with that series. I really love this first book. The next book here is the book that I said I'm currently reading, so I'm about halfway through it, and for now it's here. I will see after I finish it if it surprises me in the second half, but for now I feel like this A Study in Charlotte is it's a YA take on Sherlock Holmes, so the main characters are the great-great-grandchildren of Sherlock Holmes and Watson, who in this universe were real people. Grandchildren meet up at university and they step in their great-great-great-grandfather's footsteps and solve a crime. And for now, I'll just say it's good, but for now it's missing something. But we'll see later on if that changes. Then we have A Love Boat Taipei, which I really enjoyed. Again, I will leave a link to my review of that book. This is a YA contemporary, a very fun sort of summer romance. I really enjoyed that book. So for now, that isn't really good. Then Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb. All right, here we go. First God tier book of this list. We'll see if it's the only one, but I just recently finished this and oh my god, it took me a long time to read, I'll be honest. It's a big book, but wow, I need to film a review of that and I will tell you guys more about my thoughts, but for now, definitely God tier. This Adventure Ends by Emma Mills. I feel like this isn't good, but missing something. It's a really nice, again, YA contemporary with kind of an adventure twist, which I really enjoyed. But again, I feel like something was missing with the main character. If you didn't have a lot of interest outside of the plot of the book of what was happening, and I felt that fell short in my opinion, so missing something, but overall pretty good. Then we have The Last Wish. Oh, The Witcher. Oh god, I don't know. Okay. I'll put it here for now in really good. Not entirely sure. We'll come back to that. Okay. Then we have, here we go. Okay, I Was Born for This. God tier for me. This is, I will leave a link to my review of this book. This is one of my favorite YA contemporary books now, and Alice Osman, the author, is my new favorite contemporary author. I love her to pieces. I love this book to pieces. If you want more thoughts on this book, I'll watch that video, but for now, it's sitting nicely next to Ship of Magic. Very different genres, but both god tier in my opinion. Edge Dancer, which is a Stormlight Archive novella, which I read all the way in the beginning of the year. I barely remember this book, to be really honest. And again, it was missing. Obviously, it's a novella, so it's very short, but it's not about that. I just felt like it was missing something. I love the character that we follow in this novella. Just, you know, good, but missing something. Alright, here we go. Soul of the Sword. Alright, I just posted an entire series review of Shadow of the Fox series. Amazing. The world, I love that world. I really wish you would go back, the author would go back and write more books in that series or in that world, but I doubt that's gonna happen. But really, really good. Highly recommend that series. Alright, here we go. I made this last tier specifically because I had this book in mind because, well, I read it this year, and that's going into yikes territory because yikes. Again, link in the description to my reading vlog slash review of my reread of Twilight. If you haven't seen it, that was quite a journey. This is Secrets of the Greek Revival. This is kind of a contemporary ghost story. In my opinion, this wasn't very good. I think I gave it about 2 or 3 stars, I can't remember, but it was just okay. Like, okay, it's not good, it's okay. Alright, fine, it's okay. Not for me, but I definitely can see how people can enjoy that. It's about this group of 3 older women. They're in their 50s, I'm pretty sure, and they're at that stage of their life where their kids have grown up and moved out of the house, and so they feel like something is missing, and one of them takes on this new project. She found this old house that was there from the Victorian era, and she now wants to remodel it, and you know, she takes it on as like a project. And with her 2 friends, they all want to work on this project together, but then they get to that house and then creepy things start happening, and so it's kind of them discovering the secrets and the history behind that house. So actually, yeah, no, now that I think of it, now that I remember what happened, I would say it's okay, just not for me. This is another writing craft book, 10 Steps to Hero. I feel like, you know, this was also really good. I learned something from it, so I think in that sense it did its job. Soul of the Sword is the 2nd book. Night of the Dragon is the 3rd and final book in that series. These books, both 2nd and 3rd book, I gave 5 stars to, and they're both god tier in my opinion. Okay, next book is Kim Jeong Bong 1982. This is a weird book. It's fiction, but it reads like non-fiction. It reads like a autobiography of a young Korean woman who was born in 1982. It's kind of a feminist look on Korean culture, especially regarding women, and it was... Ooh, okay. I'll probably talk more about this in like a wrap-up or a review, but it was brutal to read. It made me very angry to read, and not because of the story itself, but just because of what was happening to this girl. So I feel like I'll put it in good, but missing something. It was super impactful, like I said. I kept thinking about the book long after I finished reading it. However, the way it was written left a little to be desired in my opinion. It was very tell instead of show. The way it was formatted and the way it wanted to come across as fiction but non-fiction at the same time, I feel like there was some sort of disconnect there, and it just, the end result, while impactful, I feel like reading it just felt a little bit jarring at times because of this weird, is it fiction? Is it non-fiction? What is it? Then we have the fiction formula. I just finished this recently, actually, and I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think if I took anything from it, and to be honest, I don't think I did, but that doesn't make it not good though. That just makes it not for me. I'm starting to realize that not good tier is maybe a bit useless, because it's hard to judge something like that where I feel like it might help other people, it might be good for other people, it didn't do it for me. And since I have that, okay, just not for me, then that's where it should go and not good. It's a look at sort of self-publishing and all of the things that you should do if you want to self-publish a book in 2020, but I already knew everything that it was talked about, and I feel like it was way too long for the information, for the useful information that it provided. That information could have come across the same way in a much shorter book. If someone wanted to learn about self-publishing, you know, for the first time and they didn't already know all these things, then I feel like it would be good for them. Therefore, yes. Then we have Of Blood and Steel, and again, okay, just not for me. This is kind of a short book that I was kindly sent by the author. Nothing objectively wrong with it, it's just, it was not for me. It's kind of like a Viking-inspired story in a way. At least it gave me that vibe of the Viking Age. I didn't like the main character. I skipped a lot of it as well, and for a short book, I feel like that's kind of bad if you feel yourself skipping, so okay, just not for me. The Anatomy of Prose. Oh, okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna switch these two up because they're by the same author in the same series of writing craft book. The Anatomy of Prose was amazing, and if I compare it to 10 Steps to Hero, I feel like I learned a lot more from The Anatomy of Prose than I did from 10 Steps to Hero, so I think I'm gonna switch those around or put The Anatomy of Prose in really good, because I feel like I took a lot from that book, whereas maybe not so much from the other one. Then we have Bill Bryson At Home. This is a non-fiction book all about the history of the home, and I love this. I listened to this a lot actually during work when I was coding. I just had it on in the background, and I kept stopping and looking up, which is probably maybe not the best thing that I did during work hours, but I kept stopping the audiobook and googling what I had listened to, just because I wanted to find out more, because it sounded so interesting and I had never heard of the things that he was talking about. This was so interesting. For a non-fiction book about something that maybe you think is mundane, it goes over the history of every single part of the house, like how all of the rooms came to be, you know, the bedroom, the living room, the kitchen, how they changed over time, and also even smaller things like dressing cupboards, or you know, salt and pepper shakers and things like that. It just goes over a lot of different things, and it was super interesting, really good. And the last, Island Happily Ever After. You know what? Finally, a book that I can put into not good. This one I can objectively say it wasn't good. It wasn't just not for me, I just feel like it missed the mark. And it had some problematic things in it. So, you know what? I don't regret making that not good tier, because I feel like I can safely put this book in there and be okay with it. Okay, so now that was all of the books that I had so far. So 22 books that I've read so far this year. So now that we have everything in place, I'm just gonna take one last look and see if anything feels a bit off. I think I'm happy with this. I'm going to save that. All right. So that is that. I can add a reaction. Okay, I'll add a reaction to my own list, because why not? Also add a poop. No, I can only add one. Okay, I'll leave the poop. That seems fitting. Okay, so that was me tier ranking all of the books that I've read this year so far. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was entertaining, and do let me know if you want to see more tier ranking list from me, and if you have any ideas of what I could tier rank that would be fun and entertaining, do let me know in the comment section below, and I'll make sure to do that. Do let me know what are the best books that you've read this year so far, and if you were to use my tier list. Actually, I think I can link it. I'll try to link it down below if you want to do the same with the books that you've read this year so far, and you can tweet them at me or send them to me, send the screenshots of your own tier list. I think that would be really fun. So I'll leave that down in the description below. But otherwise, let me know in the comments what were some of the books that you've read this year so far that you really loved, or maybe some that were yikes or not very good. But yeah, that was it for me today, guys. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time with a new video. Bye!